CNN is facing a $1 billion defamation lawsuit thanks to Jake Tapper, who is co-moderating the presidential debate this Thursday night. This $1 billion defamation suit is considerably larger than the $787 million that Fox News settled with Dominion. This case is being tried right now, and I'm going to show you footage of CNN's lawyer getting absolutely wrecked in the courtroom. But this raises the question, where is the media coverage on this? Why isn't the New York Times, MSNBC, and the rest of the press covering this like they covered the Fox News Dominion lawsuit? It's almost like the mainstream media outlets all protect each other. The $1 billion lawsuit is being brought against CNN by Zachary Young, a U.S. Navy vet who helped people evacuate Afghanistan during Biden's disastrous withdrawal. So here's how the segment in question began.
In our World Lead today, the U.S. government, the Biden administration, says that as of last week, it had assisted in the departure of at least 377 U.S. citizens and 279 lawful permanent residents of the U.S. from Afghanistan since August 31st. Still, many Afghans who desperately want to flee Taliban rule and Afghans who say their lives are at stake, they remain behind. As CNN's Alex Marquardt has discovered, Afghans trying to get...
Now, did you notice the chyron, the text at the bottom of the screen? While Jake Tapper was talking, the text talked about black markets, which of course implies illegal activity. And to make matters worse for CNN, the text mentioned exorbitant fees and no guarantee of safety, which implies a scam. Now, before I show you the rest of the segment, it's important to explain that this was intentional language. And the good news is, we have proof. You see, part of what makes defamation cases so difficult to win is that you actually have to prove and show malicious intent. Well, according to the official filing in Florida's First District Court of Appeals, Zachary Young was able to get his hands on internal communications at CNN and submit those as evidence. In those messages, CNN employees called him bag and asshole and remarked that they were going to nail this Zachary Young. Marquardt referred to him as Young and quipped, "It's your funeral, bucko." By the way, CNN's official response to all of that is that that was just journalistic bravado.
Nothing to see here, please!
So, as the segment continued, CNN accused Young of exploiting Afghans. The language appeared to suggest that Young was some sort of human trafficker and scam artist.
Afghans trying to get out of the country face a black market full of promises, demands of exorbitant fees, and no guarantee of safety or success.
Desperate Afghans are now being exploited, like that young man, told that they can get them or their families out if they pay exorbitant, often impossible amounts. Found a man named Zachary Young, who is one of many advertising evacuations from Afghanistan, posting just this week, "We can deliver."
Young is arguing that by using the words black market, exploit, and exorbitant, CNN is portraying him as a scam artist preying on desperate people. And to make matters worse, CNN focused on the high prices without explaining that the high costs were due to security measures needed to smuggle people out of the country safely.
One LinkedIn user posted messages with Young, where Young said it would be $75,000 for a car to Pakistan. He told another it would be $14,500 per person to get to the United Arab Emirates, or Albania for another $4,000. Prices well beyond the reach of most Afghans.
Before we get into what happened in the courtroom, it's important to see the rest of the segment.
Young's number and called, but he didn't pick up. In a text message, he told CNN that Afghans trying to leave are expected to have sponsors pay for them. If someone reaches out, we need to understand if they have a sponsor behind them to be able to pay evacuation costs, which Young says are highly volatile and based on environmental realities.
Also, remember the context here. The Afghan withdrawal was a failure. The planning, or lack thereof, was Joe Biden's fault. He ordered the withdrawal, and therefore the disaster and blame are with him. But instead of investigating Joe Biden and the disastrous withdrawal, CNN decided to investigate people trying to help those who were trapped in Afghanistan. How's that for priorities? Oh, and by the way, even though CNN aired this on TV, they were so unsure about the story that they refused to publish it on their website. According to the court filing, Young proffered CNN messages and emails that showed internal concern about the completeness and veracity of the reporting. The story is a mess, incomplete, and not fleshed out for digital. The story is 80% emotion, 20% obscured fact, and full of holes like Swiss cheese. And this is the network we're trusting to run the presidential debate later this week. Great. Well, in the courtroom, one of the judges appeared to suggest that CNN is indeed guilty of defamation. Take a look.
The thing in this particular case that does seem a little more actionable was the fact that, when they were talking about Mr. Young, they had his picture on the thing, and there was a chyron that says he was involved in a black market. And, you know, I've looked in a couple of dictionaries, 3 or 4, and the first definition for black market in all the dictionaries is criminal activity. And, you know, if you are accusing someone of criminal activity and they're not involved in a crime, that's usually defamation per se.
Now, what's interesting here is CNN's lawyer's response. If you listen closely, you can actually hear the lawyer's voice shaking. And based on the lawyer's age, I would imagine that he's fairly experienced. So why the shaky voice? It's almost as if he's nervous or doesn't believe what he's saying, but that's just my interpretation. See for yourself.
Correct?
Under the law where we would be looking at the defamatory meaning, perhaps it would be. Here we're on a question of actual malice, express malice, and outrageous conduct measured by objective standards. Under that criteria, Your Honor, regardless of what the meaning may be in the dictionary, which is an objective definition, what plaintiff needed to show is that subjectively CNN intended that meaning. Otherwise, there is no facts in the record to give rise to a reasonable jury question about actual malice.
Tell me how the trial.
Oh boy, you know your side is losing when you have to argue with the dictionary. You know, it's one thing for the far left to try to change the meaning of words on us, but it's one thing to hear a lawyer say, well, what you see in the dictionary doesn't really matter.
Together, and
So these are lawyers and professional writers that you know, are used to dealing with words and have dictionaries and know how precise what words mean?
One would presume, Your Honor, that they're educated people, that they've been in the business for a while, but, Your Honor, there is nothing in the record discussing the word blackmail at all among any of the CNN journalists.
Yeah.
And it is plaintiff's burden.
Well, black market is the word that was used in the chyron, right?
Did you notice how CNN's lawyer just appeared to make up a new argument on the stand? He started talking about blackmail out of nowhere. But the issue isn't about blackmail, but whether or not CNN slandered Zachary Young by using the words black market. So remember that the judge just brought up the phrase black market and correctly stated that it was in the chyron. Well, the lawyer attempted to deny it while proving the judge's point. You can't make this stuff up.
Actually, Your Honor, the words used in the chyron and said by Jake Tapper when he introduced the story was Afghans trying to get out of the country face a black market full of promises, demands of exorbitant fees, and no guarantees of safety or success. And so, in context, we maintain that it is clear on the face what CNN meant by black market, which is defined within the phrase itself.
Well, the only problem with this excuse is that CNN literally showed Zachary Young's face immediately after talking about black markets and exorbitant fees. In fact, CNN didn't even talk about anyone else. The entire segment was about Zach Young. The good news here is that another judge stepped in and hit back against the CNN lawyer, who then attempted to make the argument that there was no actual malice.
But none of those things describe what could be commonly referred to as black market. I see Judge Roberts' point that black market clearly implies, dictionary definition or otherwise, an illegal exchange of goods.
Your Honor,
That has nothing to do with those other descriptions in the chyron.
if it was a poor choice of words, Your Honor, and at best we argue that it was at best a poor choice of words, Your Honor, that may have impact on the rest of this case below under negligent standard, actual malice, I mean, whatever standard the trial judge decides to apply.
But there's just one problem. Don't forget the internal texts and emails from CNN. Thanks to those, we do know that people within CNN intended to run with this half-baked story and that their goal was to destroy Young. And fortunately, the judges picked up on this.
Of the intention for that meeting.
So what are we to make of the internal emails that were brought into the record where they called Mr. Young a shitbag? They said that they were going to nail this Zachary Young ever. Said he had a punchable face, said he was an asshole, and said it was his funeral, bucko. What do we make of those?
Your Honor,
is that at least some evidence of malice?
It's actually the opposite, Your Honor.
Welcome to leftism, where you are not allowed to believe what you see with your own eyes and hear with your own ears. But as always, that is just my analysis, and I would love to hear yours in the comments below. Do you think CNN will proceed to trial with this, just to prove their journalistic standards and integrity, or do you think they'll settle with Young to avoid an embarrassing trial? If you haven't already, please be sure to give me a thumbs up. I know it's a simple thing to ask, but it really does help me in the algorithm to reach more viewers like you. Be sure to smash that subscribe button and to check out one of these videos.